Thanks so much. It's great to be here. Yeah, we just finished up an online hackathon. We had really great results, and we're participating in the hackathon here at ETH Denver. So I'm going to go over some of the great projects that were designed in that hackathon and what we're working to do with this one. First, I'm going to tell you what zkVerify is and the problem that we're trying to solve. So the way that we see it is the problem with current EVMs proofs for user applications is that they're expensive and slow. There's been a lot of development in the ZK space and a lot of cool apps created. You can look through the GitHub to see many projects. When the BN254 elliptic curve precompile was put onto Ethereum in 2017, it really caused a lot of different things. Of course, we all know the big success case of ZK rollups. zkVerify is a solution for fast and inexpensive end-user applications. And our team has taken a whole different way of looking at this. We see that there's been a lot of fundamental zero-knowledge proof research in the last 8 years since that precompile was put into Ethereum. The S2 verifier on the previous presentation from Starkware is a great example. The whole Cairo ecosystem is really neat and it continues to advance. There's other different ecosystems within the ZK space that are also pursuing really good ways to create ZK proofs. The problem is that all ZK proofs have to be verified. And we saw when we were talking to users was that sometimes the time it takes to verify and the cost that it takes to verify make the application to be price prohibitive. For example, a marketing organization might be happy to do polls where the user participants they have their identity hidden. But how much are they going to pay for that? Are they going to pay for a penny a poll, $5 a poll? There's a range. So price is part of the design factor. So what we have on zkVerify is a blockchain that only does proof verifications. It's not a smart contracting platform. And we have a number of different modular verifiers for different proof types. Right now in testnet, we've been in testnet since March of last year. We have RISC-0 Stark proof verifier, we have a Noir ultraplonk verifier, and we have Groth16 in both the BN254 curve and the BLS12381 curve. And in doing this, we've been participating in hackathons all during last year, trying to kind of find product market fit. What are people most excited about? And we thought initially it would be all different Web3 applications, but surprisingly, in a number of the hackathons, in fact, in most of them, it was Web2 applications that wanted to be able to prove something, and then they just needed a fast and inexpensive, decentralized and permissionless place to verify it. So that was a surprise. Now, as we've gone through and continued to test with users, we have a chance to define how is zkVerify going to be a successful project. And it's pretty simple. We want to be successful long-term, and so that means that it has to be a self-sustaining project. It means people need to pay us to use it. Okay, so the big picture numbers is in the existing substrate-based blockchain model that we have, which is a block every 6 seconds, about 20 million proofs per year sent to us would be a good measure of success with just about every block full. And so we're looking to identify and incubate high volume use cases. Now, when I think about high volume use cases for ZK proofs, that means end user applications, games, identity, voting, polling, different things like that. And as I see a lot of the ZK conversation and presentations and discussions here and over the course of the last year, a lot of it has been about infrastructure and scaling Ethereum, which is equally important. It's just not what we're focused on. So so by having multiple different types of ZK proof verifiers, and we continue to add more as we go, we're bringing together actually different ZK silos. So we hope to have an S2 verifier in the future. Right now we have a RISC-0 ZK virtual machine verifier. We're going to be adding the Plunky 2 verifier and even the Microsoft Nova verifier. So they can all be verified in this one platform. We want to be the common platform for all ZK proof verifications. Now, when a Web2 application uses it, they can just use our zkVerify JavaScript to send the proof to zkVerify. It gets verified quickly, and then they can use the API or check the Block Explorer and see that the proof was verified. It gets verified when 2 out of the 3 validators verify that it's correct, and post it to the blockchain. We also group together receipts of verification into a Merkle tree structure and send that to our smart contract that's deployed on many different EVMs. Then that way a Web3 application can check our smart contract to see that their proof was verified. This is not proof aggregation. The verification happens on zkVerify, but the receipt of the proof is extended. So I hinted earlier about price sensitivity to zk applications. And so kind of put together this graph of as the time to create and verify the proof is on the left axis, and the price to create and verify the proof is on the horizontal axis. Now, this is a gross simplification, totally understand. There's a lot of things like processor speed and parallel processing and memory requirements and all sorts of different things like that. But this is just how we're thinking about a big picture. Like zk rollups are successful because it's so economically beneficial to scale Ethereum that it can handle a higher cost and a slower time to create a proof and verify. But if we want to get to the high volume, low cost proofs, we need to start looking at applications like identity, gaming, perhaps a decentralized finance, maybe voting and polling, some forms of decentralized science. So that was what our recent online hackathon was about. Now you might be asking, okay, who's building this zkVerify blockchain? So it's Horizon Labs, and let me tell you a little bit of history about Horizon Labs. So it was started out with our project that I was co-founder of, Zencash, back in 2017, and was rebranded to Horizon in 2019, and the entire team was spun into the private company Horizon Labs back, I think it was about 2019. And over that time has done a lot of projects in the basic ZK space. Now, for y'all that have been around for a while, you might remember Zencash was basically the Zcash code base, so we could do private payments. And we took a little different spin on engaging community and doing applications and things like that, with always the intention to continuously improve the system and the application. And we've been doing that so far. One of the ideas that we had was a sidechain bridge, I believe it's called a Validium sidechain bridge, which we called Zendu. If y'all remember back in those days, 2017, 2018, 19, the big narrative was that Bitcoin was the big system that everybody wanted to use, and any projects that were proof of work or UTXO, the best parts of those projects would get incorporated into Bitcoin. And many of us were all for that. So one of the reasons that we created this sidechain bridge was we were unable to do one of the things that we wanted to do, which was to move the project governance to a DAO. We realized we needed smart contracting capabilities. So we had first explored actually being able to do voting and things like that on our UTXO chain, and it just turned out to be too complicated. So that's why we had a sidechain bridge. During that time, we got involved and did the 8 token launch, which was really successful. And then our team built Horizon Eon, which is a custom Ethereum virtual machine. So right now, Horizon is 2 different blockchains. We did 8chain with Arbitrum last year. We launched zkVerify testnet last year. And then there was just an announcement from Base yesterday that our 2 old Horizon blockchains are going to be moving to be an L3 app chain on Base as soon as possible, hopefully in the next few months. And that's going to be a privacy-focused app chain. So we've got 8 years of continuous development, being part of the community, and improvement in the ZK space. We're not new to this space. All right, so who am I? Why should I be giving this presentation? I did say that I was co-founder of Horizon, but this is like my 5th industry. And I was reading a book recently called Range, where if you have experience in different industries, it sometimes helps you bring ideas to a new industry. So I started out as an electrical and nuclear engineer on a submarine out of Hawaii, and did that for 4 years. So that was a different way of starting out. Then worked for a couple different industries, semiconductor industry, then Cisco Systems, and then I started a company, an IT company. Me and my brother-in-law, we grew it to 68 people and then sold it back in 2015. That gave me time to do Bitcoin mining, which I'd been keeping an eye on, but when you got a big company, you got to kind of focus on what you're doing. So I built 3 different Bitcoin mining farms. The latest one was a 1.5 megawatt facility with over 1,000 machines. And that's what actually got us into, so the GPU mining is what I got into Zcash really early. So me and Rob Biglione and a couple other people, we co-founded Zencash in 2017. If you go to our Horizon website and go to the YouTube, you'll see some of the early videos are for me. So I did screenshots of that. Anyway, I thought you might find that interesting. All right, so let's talk about the hackathon. We just finished up a Web3 online hackathon, and it's a Web3 hackathon because in all the previous hackathons, people were doing Web2 applications. We're like, we really want to force Web3 applications. And we had partnered with Open Campus and Arbitrum on this one. They were very kind to give us some grant money for prizes on this. And we specified that we wanted people to create Web3 applications that did AI and anyway, user-focused applications, like I said before, and use one of our fast custom verifiers. So here's a screenshot of it. We finished it up last week and awarded prizes, and we're paying out the winners right now. There was 49 projects submitted to this, and I've been telling people this, and they're like, wow, how did you get so many different projects submitted? I'll tell y'all. So we had all-star judges and mentors. So I actually didn't do a lot with this hackathon. I work for zkVerify Foundation, but I've got two rockstar DevRels, Milica and Armin, and they have been in the ZK space for years. They know a lot of people. They work with a lot of developers. So if you see here, there might be people that you know that were part of our judges. The judges were really helpful in ranking the projects and allowing us to score it. And it was great to be able to run a hackathon where the developers and the mentors and the judges are all separate groups of people. So this is from our DevFolio back end for this hackathon. You can see that we had a lot of people register and submit projects. So very excited about that. We had really strong Indian participation. I thought we were going to have worldwide participation. You can see from the cities here, we had a lot of teams from India. We didn't expect that. That's actually pretty exciting. I think we're going to have a big presence at ETH India this year. So here's some of the online hackathon project highlights. So Shadow ML, so it's a way of taking machine learning training data set, and you can charge people for it because you can prove that the training data set was used by a ZK proof, and then this one was built with risk zero, I believe, and send the verification to, or send the proof to zkVerify to verify, and then it goes to the Web3 application to be done. WinWave is a way of selecting a winner from a social media application. ZK Leaderboard is a way to take online games, prove that a user got a score in that online game, and then post it in the leaderboard. And that way, once you have a leaderboard for games, you can do all sorts of other things. First of all, you can compete against other people, which is kind of fun. And then you can wager on the games. There's all sorts of things you can do once you got a leaderboard. Edufy was a way to get anonymous microfinance loans for education. Proof of med is a way for doctors to give a prescription and then do a zero-knowledge proof that the prescription was valid, and then the pharmacist can verify that this was actually a valid prescription. And Veilpad is a way of doing a secure token launchpad to be able to launch tokens anonymously. So there's a bunch of really good projects on here. I encourage you all to go take a look at it. And we're also participating here as in the Build-a-thon. So this is our award that the foundation's doing. We're really hoping that, with the amount of attendance here and the high quality of developers, we're going to get some neat projects. I'm so happy that we have all these different ZK events. It's given us a chance to talk about what we're doing from a user development standpoint. But we're hoping to be able to hand out all these prizes. And for the one here at ETH Denver, we're opening it back up to Web3 applications as well. So as an industry, because ZK is sort of kind of an industry now, how do we bring developers to zero knowledge? Well, first of all, got to give a big shout out to House of ZK for hosting this event and for doing all the different types of podcasts and information things. That's really helpful. We work with ZKV also to do the ZK Hack and ZK Summits. They've been leaders in the space, and actually I was talking with Gaylord there. He mentored us on doing some of these hackathons. His main point was, if the industry is growing, you're always getting new people into the industry. So you have to make it as easy and welcoming as possible. So don't go all technology on people. Just show them the tools to make ZK proofs in an easy and simple way. They can always increase performance later and make it better and more secure. Just get them into the industry. So my son's actually a computer science student, and he's here in this hackathon, and I was able to talk him into going to NORCon. He's been studying Rust since last summer, and he learned how to create a ZK proof using Noir. So I'm really excited that Aztec's made it so straightforward to be bringing new people into this space. And I like that ZK VMs, you can just take your Rust code, run it in the guest, and boom, it's proved that you're running. Now, for our purpose of having like end user applications, we really got to be doing ZK on mobile and web devices. So I was talking to our cryptographer, Marcus Schaffnegger. He was one of the people that helped write the paper on the Poseidon 2 hash functions. And I'm like, Marcus, if I want to do these like identity and games on a mobile phone, what do I need to use? He's like, you got to use Plonky 2. So Plonky 2 is one of the verifiers that we're getting. He's like, you can create a proof on a mobile phone in less than a second. So I take a little different view of this ZK proof space than I know a lot of y'all do, but I want to see the results, and I want people using them all over, and I want them to not even know that they're using ZK proofs in the underlying application, because I just want the user experience to be so seamless. So research and science projects are really important. I mean, there's all these new ZK proofs that people are creating, but software engineering and user experience are really important as well. So we brought a good-sized team here, our Horizon team, our zkVerify team. We got Steve and Rodrigo. They're helping people out that want to create ZK proofs here in this hackathon. And then we got, of course, our main development team in Milan, and then Armin's in Indian Standard Time, so we can do round-the-clock support. And we've got a booth. So if you want to come talk to us on what we're doing with Horizon or what we're doing with zkVerify, would love to come talk to you, have you come talk to us about that. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciated your talk. And loved hearing your story about your background. Thank you, Rolf.